welcome back to the vlog. It's a Tuesday afternoon. I'm just wrapping up work for the day. Hectic as always, but things are feeling good. My mood shifts so drastically based on my hormones. I know this isn't like groundbreaking information, but depending on the time of the month, I'm like right now I'm like feeling positive, optimistic about everything. I feel like nothing could drag me down, and I know like in a week from now when I'm starting to get into my luteal phase, I'm just gonna be a mess, and I wish I just had a better way to regulate it. That's kind of like something else I want to learn how to approach better once I get the whole gastritis thing under control, because that is such a quality of life thing for me and it's just like 2 weeks out of every month. You're crazy. That's not fair. Anyway, I digress. Today I'm feeling really good, feeling really happy. I am super hopeful that we can get this apartment that we saw in Torino. If you didn't watch my last vlog, we are planning on moving cities. So we live in Milan now, but we saw some places in Torino that are amazing. A fraction of what we're paying now. I mean, not a fraction, but a little bit less than what we're paying now, and way more space. They're outside of the city, so it would be my first time moving to like the countryside, I guess. It's still very close to the city, so we won't be totally in the middle of nowhere, but I'm so excited to see if we can get it and what that adventure will be like. Very happy with the prospect of being around more nature. The hillside of Torino is so beautiful. The hiking there is really nice. Not even hiking, just like going for walks. And I'm ready for a little bit of a smaller city vibe. Milan is great. I'm not a Milan hater, but it's not for the stage in the life that we're at right now. I'm, especially with my health, not super interested in like having access to all these bars, and the social life here is better, but it's very like bar and aperitivo focused, so it's just not what I want anymore. 5 years ago, yes, would have loved it, but I'm getting to that age where I'm just like, number one, I don't do it for my health, and number two, it's just not a priority for me anymore. Being around more nature, having more space is more of a priority. So I'm excited. I haven't lived in a non-city in the last 10 years. I grew up in the suburbs in Florida, but yeah, since then I haven't had a non-city life experience. So I'm curious to see how I will handle that. I think it'll be okay. We're gonna need to get a car again. I haven't had a car in 4 years, so that will be an interesting adjustment. And yeah, buying a car in Italy will be fun to figure out. I wanted to share some things that I've been watching and reading lately, just some like media I've been consuming, just because I'm really enjoying what I'm watching lately. So first of all, I'm watching an Italian show on Netflix called Lydia Poet, but with subtitles. It's interesting too. Number one, I'm trying to always improve my Italian, and it's a really good show, and it's based in Torino. That was a total coincidence, but it's a really good show. It's kind of like it's 1800s historical drama. I think it's a true story about a female lawyer around that time, which was very controversial. So that's fun. I just finished listening to the audiobook of The Housemaid. It was okay. I mean, I didn't think it was like the most riveting thriller book ever, but I just wanted to see what all the hype was about because everybody was talking about it lately. But yeah, it was an okay book. But a book that I've actually been really loving lately, I'm also listening to it on audiobooks, is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. It's an old book from like the 90s, and I don't like self-help books. I think most of them are cheesy and kind of overrated, but this one I actually like. It speaks to me on a very personal level because I'm a very anxious person, and I think I get triggered very easily by little things, and it's literally the point of the book to not sweat the small stuff. So I've been really loving reading that or listening to that. It speaks to me. I don't know if that's just a me thing, but I do recommend that book. Again, not a self-help book fan, but this one is actually super good. And I'm also reading, this is total different side of the spectrum, but I'm reading Frankenstein, the original by Mary Shelley, and I'm learning about Mary Shelley, and she's so interesting. She was only like 17 when she wrote Frankenstein, and she just has such a crazy story, a little bit of a sad life story, but still super cool chick, and the book is fun. I love a good old classic monster book. Like I loved Dracula, and it has that similar feeling, but this is fun too. So yeah, I just wanted to share like some little fun things in my life, because I don't want to come on here every week and just talk about my stomach and how that's going, although I'm sure that's what everybody wants to hear about. But healing and living a normal, healthy life is all about balance and having hobbies that bring your life joy and fulfillment, and dwelling on the chronic illness all the time is not helpful for healing. So this is my attempt in doing that. Hi guys! So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the vagus nerve. I find the vagus nerve so interesting and kind of hopeful in terms of gastritis healing, because it's something that doctors often gloss over, don't even cover at all in some cases. And I think understanding that and how the mind-gut connection is so important for gastritis healing. We can't gloss over it anymore. We can't afford to. And just giving people PPIs and hoping that that solves the gastritis is no longer an option, as many of us know. So I wanted to share a little bit of the research I've done on the vagus nerve and why it's so important to tone the vagus nerve and treat it like a muscle that you need to exercise every day. Just have my notes here. So the vagus nerve is the longest nerve in the entire body. It goes all the way from the brainstem all the way down to your lungs, your heart, and through the digestive tract. It's the main component of the parasympathetic nervous system, which is basically the nervous system that tells your body it's okay, it's safe, and allows for rest and digestion. It carries signals from the gut to the brain, not the other way around. Your brain does not tell your gut what to do. Your gut, the way your gut is feeling, the microbiome actually influences your brain. This is an important one. The vagus nerve controls the release of stomach acid, and stomach acid is something that's very misunderstood in the gastritis healing world. Acid is often looked at as like the villain in the gastritis story, the reason for the gastritis, but that is not the case at all, actually. Gastritis can often be a result of low stomach acid, not in all cases, but in many cases, that's actually what's going on, which is why things like PPIs, acid reducers, acid blockers do not help us. So the vagus nerve controls the regulation of stomach acid. It doesn't just pump out stomach acid, but it makes sure it's regulated. It makes sure that you have enough stomach acid, one, to be the defense mechanism against pathogens, against things like H. pylori, against other bacteria that can damage your stomach lining. And it also makes sure that you have enough acid to properly break down proteins into amino acids so that your cells can rebuild, because the stomach lining needs amino acids to properly repair itself. So if you have low stomach acid and you're really trying to heal, you're not producing enough acid for that amino acid breakdown to occur. Therefore, you're slowing down the healing process. Also, when the vagus nerve is not toned like a muscle, the migrating motor complex slows down or completely stops. I've talked about the migrating motor complex before, but if you don't know, the MMC is basically the cleaning wave, that noise you hear when you feel your stomach empty. That's the MMC working to move food through your digestive system. And when you have something like SIBO, that can really slow down. Often SIBO is a result of a slow MMC. So you want to keep that MMC moving to make sure that food isn't sitting there fermenting, creating gas, and I talked about this in a couple videos ago about SIBO, about how if you have SIBO, it kind of keeps the valves in your stomach open, and that allows things like bile to get into your stomach to worsen the gastritis. It's all connected. I know it's kind of a lot of pieces to put together, but the vagus nerve is so important. Vagus nerve is good. Acid is good. Your stomach is supposed to be an acidic environment. All important stuff. So if you're not treating the vagus nerve like a muscle, it's a use it or lose it situation. If you're not training legs once a week, you're not going to grow your leg muscles. If you're not toning your vagus nerve every day, it's not going to be toned. Like, it's very simple. So there are some easy ways that you can tone it. But first, I want to share some signs of low vagal tone. If you have chronic fatigue, if you have constipation, if you have chronic anxiety, if you notice slow motility, food is not moving through your body fast, if you don't have a normal appetite, or if you get full very quickly, these could all be signs of low vagal tone. So here are some ways that you can naturally, no medication, improve vagal tone. Cold exposure. Cold exposure is a big one. It's kind of been a trending wellness hack over the last year. I am not personally a fan of like cold plunges, especially for women. It's not as good for our hormones as it might be for men, but you can do an ice bowl, like ice water in a bowl, and stick your head in there for, not your whole head, but your face in there for 30 seconds. And that is a way to really wake up the vagus nerve and get it pumping for the day. It's also a good way to just start your day and make you feel energized. So a nice ice bucket face dump in the morning. It's a good way to start the day. Vocal cord stimulation is another good way to tone your vagus nerve. If you notice in yoga, when they go like, there's a reason for that. It's for the vagus nerve. So humming, gargling, like gargling water, or even singing is a great way to tone your vagus nerve. So if you're a singer, you probably have a great vagal tone, but doing things like humming and gargling are also really good options for improving vagal tone. It might feel silly at first, but whatever. Just get into it. Just make it part of your daily exercise routine. And another easy way to improve vagal tone is slow, long exhalation. So again, going back to the yoga or even meditation, there is a reason why we inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. That long exhalation is really important because it signals to your brain that it's safe. It tells your body that it's safe because breathing in that way, in a very controlled and long, slow way, tells your body that it's okay. And then you can stimulate that rest and digest nervous system and tell your body that it's safe. When a body feels safe, when it's not in a constant state of fight or flight, that is when your digestive system is functioning as it should. So keeping the vagus nerve toned and really making sure that that is part of your practice with all the other things you're doing for gastritis healing. Gastritis healing requires so many different elements. There is not one pill, there is not one supplement that's going to fix it all for you. There are many different layers to it, and the mental health and the vagus nerve aspect of it cannot be ignored. So if that's the piece you've been missing, which for many people that is the piece of the puzzle that's been left out, give it a try. Try it for a week, see if you feel any different, and let me know. When you have higher vagal tone, you have lower inflammation and faster tissue repair. These are both extremely important for healing gastritis for good. So let me know if you try any of these things for a week and if they worked out for you, if they're improving your life in any way. I'm really curious. They've definitely improved my life. Ever since I started meditating, I have noticed that I've gotten better at managing stressful situations. Things don't get to me as much. And just knowing that no matter what happens in the world, in my life, I can take 5 minutes to just breathe and bring myself back down. That's such a powerful feeling. Emotional regulation is so important. So I'm obsessed with the vagus nerve. I want to do more videos on this. Let me know if you have any specific questions about the vagus nerve, because I'm happy to share.